Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, Larry W. Brooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network Live. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week on the show, and we have a really exciting show planned for you all. I want to give a huge shout out, first of all, to everybody that's checking us out live on YouTube and Facebook. Man, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Get involved in today's show. Leave myself or the Texas Real Estate King a relevant real estate question in our comment section, and you very well may have your question answered on today's show. I want to take a little time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and a proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for sitting in this week on the show. And I'd like to introduce the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, Rick, man. It's great to be back here again, doing what we do best, man, which is getting in front of amazing entrepreneurs, amazing business owners, and people that love to pour back into other people. So it's great to be here today for that.
Hey, man, I want to definitely let you know, man, I've been getting some great feedback the last couple of weeks about our last couple of episodes about how transformative it's been. People have thanked us for informing them about the market shift and how buyers have a lot more negotiating power now than they may have had in the previous couple of years. So I want to give you that feedback and also tell you from the audience, man, they really appreciate the guests that we've been lining up and how they've been edifying our audience with nothing but facts and things that they can take to help build generational wealth for their family. So I want to give you that thank you from the members of the DM team and the comment section and everybody who's been checking out the show, man. So appreciate that a lot.
No doubt, man. And that's one of the things that excites me today. So I want to make sure that all of the people that's listening to the show, you know, make sure you like, subscribe, share the episode. We want to get at least 1,000 likes on this video. Because today's guest is about to be amazing. You know, I'm just excited about it, man. It hits a different kind of level, mainly because of everything that's been going on with young LB and the area of his next steps in life as far as going to college and what he plans on doing educational wise. So just having today's guest is a good financial point for me.
No, and I thank you so much for being so transparent because, you know, it's graduating season all over the country. High schools, colleges, doctorate degrees, master's degrees. Everyone, those who have invested in their education are celebrating those successes right now. And this is no better time to talk about setting up your future to create generational wealth than right now. So I agree with you totally, Larry. This is the best time of any to talk about today's subject matter. And could you share a little bit with the audience about this week's guest, how you were introduced, and how you were able to gain her commitment to sit in on this week's show?
Yeah, man. So it's amazing. Much like last week's guest, one of our past alumni of the Prime Real Estate Network, Ms. Andy Tebow, actually put us in contact with today's guest. She was so excited. She said she would bring so much value to the platform. This is someone that your platform and the world needs to know about. And so we're blessed with the opportunity to get her on here. It was a very easy text conversation. She agreed to be a part of the show. So I'm excited just to dive deep with her, just get a better understanding of what finances look like for people in our everyday society and making things better for us, right?
And you know, man, there's nothing better than having a professional wealth generator on the show. So, hey, look, if you're checking out today's show and you know a recent college grad or recent high school grad, if you know families who have made the commitment this year to set themselves up to create generational wealth, share today's episode, like today's episode, and make sure you let them know today's episode of the Prime Real Estate Network Live is geared specifically for them. So without any further ado, Larry, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. She is not only one of the foremost family financial wealth experts, but she's also an expert entrepreneur, an educator, and a mentor. I want to thank her so much for sitting in on the Prime Real Estate Network Live. And I'd like to introduce to the audience, Miss Natalie Taylor. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I've been catching some of your past episodes, and I just want to take a second to say you guys are doing a phenomenal job representing the Houston market. You know, I did a little bit of background, and even though the economy is looking kind of funky, Houston market is on the up and rising. It's growing. The trajectory for Houston is amazing. It's only going to get brighter and brighter. So the fact that you guys are putting people in position to not just position themselves personally, but business-wise to get in front, you're giving them the resources on a weekly basis. You're not doing this, to build up yourself. Like there's other ways you could make content to bring more people to you, but you're doing this for other persons who are also in the same industry. So I want to take some time to say, I salute you both. And I see you, Larry, with your son and what you're doing in the background. I love seeing dads do dad stuff. So I want to also salute you. June is right around the corner. So I want to wish you all early happy Father's Day, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Taylor, man. Larry and I really were excited to interview you because like we mentioned before we brought you on stage, you know, we're in that graduation season. And this is the time where those young people, those young adults, those young professionals, you actually have their ear to give them some influential words of encouragement. This is when they're actually open to advice from that older generation. So as a professional wealth generator and financial wealth expert, do you have an opening remark for those recent graduates about how the future is in front of them and how they need to take this opportunity to set themselves up to create wealth in the future?
Wow. You asked me a question and I don't even think you realize the question you asked me. So let me get right into it. First of all, you said for the recent graduate, and some people would think you were asking me about people who graduated from college and high school, but there's some people who've graduated some areas in their life. Yes. They have not been recognized yet. And I want to call those people to the front right now. The people who have been on a job that they are graduated from, the people who are in a position financially that they have graduated from, they are uncomfortable, like a baby in a mother's belly that's ran out of space, ran out of room. And so, yes, I want to talk to the recent high school and college graduate, but I also want to talk to the persons who are graduated to the next level financially. You know, you're not a thousandaire anymore. You are not running from debt collectors anymore. Like you are not sitting down waiting for six figures anymore. You have already graduated. You said this years ago, and I want to call you to the front. Now I want to answer the question for the graduates who are listening here today, right? And those of you who are going to listen to the replay, I want you to know first and foremost, you are not your mistake. Okay. Secondly, just because you have a degree or you finish high school or college doesn't mean you're supposed to have it all together. I have 3 college degree, double and triple major. And I can tell you, even being in finance and accounting, I made some finance and accounting mistakes. Okay. So the first thing I want you to know is you are not your mistake. And 2, just because you made mistake doesn't mean that you are at the tail end. Those who have made mistakes and recognize their mistake and graduate from their mistakes are the ones who win. So making a mistake does not make you a failure. What it does is it shows me that you've been in the game. It shows me that you've been playing. It shows me that if you have some dirt on your hand, that you've been building something. Okay. There's an analogy that I remember very quickly is a man showing a sharpened pencil and a pencil that's been shaved all the way down. And so right now you may be listening to this and you feel shaved all the way down. You're looking at other people's social media and they look a little bit well sharpened, glossed, and all of that. And I want you to know that that little stubby pencil, right, that might feel like it's you right now, is in position to do things that that brand new sharpened pencil can't do. You know exactly where the hurt is. You know exactly where the pain is. And so back to your question about graduation, some of you are hiding and licking your wounds. And I want to say, come forward to the front with your wounds, because those wounds are going to save family in this season. Whatever you lost in the real estate market, you can literally put some money to that and save family from losses. You can save realtors. That's why these couple gentlemen are right here right now. It's not because they're perfect. It's because they know where the potholes are, and people are willing to pay them for the knowledge and education. So graduates, I know you got some C's and some B's. I know you had to redo some classes. I know only a few weeks ago, according to a mother, you probably had some misses and some non-shows, right? And so you didn't even know you were going to graduate. Some of you, you're still literally sitting there like, yeah, you are right. It's my new season. Yeah, you are right. My life should be different. Yes, it should be. I want you to understand that graduation is not just about celebration. It's about the fact that, you know what, this new season, it's uncomfortable. This new season, it comes with uncertainty. This new season, it's unpredictable. This new season, it's going to blow your imagination. And so I know you went to your vision board parties, and I know you thought that it was going to be perfect. And I know the breakup that you went through, you're like, yes, snatched. It's better now. This building is going to be different. This apartment is going to be different. But graduation means that you're going to be in a place where you may not be celebrated because nobody knows who you are. The whole place, they know who you are. The old place, they know your old record. But this new place, you're going to have to build it again. You're going to have to start from scratch. You're going to have to get back in the field. You're going to have to get back from scratch. You're going to have to educate yourself. You're going to have to unlearn and relearn. You're going to have to network again. You're going to have to brush off your mic and come again. You're going to have to brush off your suit and go again. So my graduates, what do you need? You're not a failure. Your losses, your mistake, the things that weren't perfect is exactly what this world needs right now, especially in this entrepreneurial space. We want to know. People want authenticity. We are tired of being scammed. We are tired of people telling us that things are going to be perfect. And if you just do this and flip 2 times and your credit score is going to be 800, and then you're going to be able to buy a building with no money down, and you're going to be able to move this over here and never pay anybody and write off your G-Wagon. Well, with no G-Wagons, I'm telling you that somebody wants your information. With no fake jets in the background, I'm telling you that somebody is waiting for you to solve their problem. And graduates, it is your problems that you solve. It's the mistakes that you've made. It's the failures that you've had that people are waiting for. And that's where your wealth is waiting for you.
I mean, that's so powerful. And I want to thank you so much for being so open and transparent about some of the pitfalls and roadblocks that people potentially have to overcome on their path to success. And I want to ask you, and without just boiling it down to your why, because you're so passionate about this subject, where does that energy come from? Where have you been through in your past? What is it that motivates you when you could just feather your own nest? What motivates you to build a foundation of education and mentorship and passing this knowledge to those who may not have had this presented to them in the past?
Wow, listen, can we give you an award for some amazing questions? Okay. You are not coming in here today and giving us no shallow answers. Okay. So a little bit, but real quick, because we ain't got time. But so my mom is originally from Cuba. They are kind of like stowaways over into Jamaica, which is where I was born. And my dad was, an expat in Jamaica, Germany. Okay. And so my mom has no education. When her mother got to Jamaica, she kind of, needed a new life for herself. And she left our older kids in a very rural area with their aunt who is blind. So my mom grew up on a farm, and my mom became a marijuana farmer. Okay. And before the US came to Jamaica and made it illegal, it was pretty legal, right? To have marijuana farms. And so my mom was a very successful marijuana farmer because what she knew to do was farm in. And so she used the skills that she had and she farmed. She met my sister's dad, who was a fisherman, and he was into boats. So together, she became an international entrepreneur, bringing her product from island to island. And so when the United States declared that marijuana was illegal, you know, that would be considered trafficking, right? And so my mom stopped doing that. She lost her farm. So my mom doesn't have any formal education. So what she did was she started, you know, doing things that she was skilled to do: clean houses, you take something that other people didn't want, to repackage it and sell it, you know, in marketplaces. And then also they had a boat, so they would fish, they would sell fish. And so that's what when I was born, that's what I saw. So my mom, because of the hardship that she was going through, when she was pregnant with me, promised me to a family. And so when I was born, she saw me as her promise, and she didn't want to give away her promise to somebody else. But after struggling with me for like the first 6 years, and I had a lot of medical issues, she eventually gave me away at about 6 years old in the middle of the night to a strange man that I'd never met before, who then brought me to his wife, who could not have kids. And that's how I was raised. So when you say to me, where does my passion come from? My passion comes from knowing the roots, you know, of somebody who grew up on a farm. And though she did not have formal education, she made something out of what she had in her hand. And it brings me back to a scripture when the prophet says to the woman, what do you have in your house? Somebody is listening on here today and they're like, oh, she's polished, she's lucky, her life has been this. No. What do you have in your house? Because you're listening to me saying I have multiple degrees, but I came to this country with barely anything, right? What do you have in your house? You got to look at what's in your hand. What do you have in your pocket? What are you skilled at? What can you fall back on? So I'm passionate because unlike my mother, I'm in a position now where I have the internet. I'm in a position now where we have podcasts. You're introducing me to your audience. I've never met them. I've been introduced to you. I met Andy through Clubhouse. She literally was running a show on Clubhouse. I was drawn to her. She's introduced me to some dynamic persons. Andy says to me, can you get on a podcast? I didn't ask no questions. I didn't research you guys. I didn't care about your audience size. I like Andy. Andy asked me for a favor. The answer is yes. I didn't even look on my schedule to see that I was not available. I said yes. When Mr. Larry reached out and he said, you know, when can you come on? I said yes. I didn't look, I didn't corroborate nothing. I moved some things around because that's what you do. When you get along with someone, that's what you do. It's called community, right? We're moving things along. And so why am I passionate? I'm passionate because if my mother had me, her life would have been different. Okay. And then know what I have now. I've been on Wall Street. I've been in public accounting. I've been in rooms that other people don't get to be in. If people had me and my information, if I had you at 26 years old, okay, the mistakes that I made in real estate would be different. I'm not afraid of my mistakes because they made me who I am today, but I would have made different quality mistakes. We want mistakes, but the quality of our mistakes need to change. It can't be the same stupid mistakes. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm passionate because I understand that today I have an opportunity to serve someone I may never build and sow a seed that I will never get shade from. But because of sowing that, my children will have a world that is different. These people who are listening, they will be employers that will create jobs, that will create opportunities. And so my children will have a United States. See, people are looking to go to Africa. That's cute. I can go to Africa, but why not build here? Because if I go to Africa, they're saying that Africa belongs to Africans. Well, guess what? I'm African, but they don't recognize that. And so I'm not willing to go somewhere to start over when I have something that I can build right here, right now. Okay. So if I can get both, I want both. I want BOAAF. But for right now, if I can sow a seed in Houston, okay, my grandchildren may go to Houston someday. If I can sow a seed and it builds a shade, who knows, my great-grandchildren may bear that shade of that company, of an idea, because I did something. So I'm passionate because I know that the government is not coming to save us. I know the systems are not coming to save us. We are the systems. We are the saviors we've been looking for. Outside of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we are the systems and the saviors we've been looking for.
The great thing about having someone like you on the show and doing this interview, it just gives Larry and myself an opportunity to just present some ideas that we don't normally get to present to our audience. Because for a lot of it, we have real estate professionals, those in the real estate sphere. But having you on this week, I can ask you this question. And you spoke about earlier that we are not our mistakes. Our mistakes don't define us. And a lot of financial mistakes people make when they're younger is because they have a differing mindset than they need to become a wealth builder. So could you talk about that mindset shift, and give our audience some advice on how they could begin to look at the world from a perspective where, from a mindset standpoint, they could be someone to start being a wealth creator and a wealth generator?
Oh, that's such another great question. So mindset shift. The first thing is, if you don't value who you are, you will not put away anything for the future. If you don't value who you are, then you're not thinking future, you're thinking now, right? Because you're trying to validate yourself in the now. You're trying to get validation from people. But someone who values who they are, they're willing to forego immediate gratification. Someone who values the long term. If I know that I'm going to be a skyscraper, I'm not going to sell my plot of land, right? If I know that in the long run, that it takes me 4 years. There's a community behind me that literally took them 3 years. How many people, when they saw the mud, would have given up? Because they don't want to be associated with the dirt, with the mud. They don't want to be associated with the mess. So the mindset is, no matter what's happening right now, life goes left, don't go with it, go right. Life will life. People are going to die. Loved ones are going to die. You are going to experience breakup. Maybe all your breakups are in your past and your spouse and you are going to be good for the future. I don't know, but people will experience breakups. Someone is going to die. Your friend, your loved one, someone you love who is near and dear to you is going to die. You are going to lose something. You are going to experience that. And the minute you accept that loss is a part of winning, then you will not stay in suffering longer than you need to. Another thing that people need to shift their mindset on is this idea of suffering. Why are we so afraid of suffering? The one who builds and succeeds suffers, and the one who fails suffers. We will all suffer. And if you move your mindset away from, oh my God, I don't want people to see me failing, then you will suffer a little differently for a lot less longer, right? So for instance, I was listening to a story, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was talking about how for 4 years, his house went into foreclosure for 4 straight years because he was his backer. The people who said they would back him backed out. And I want to ask you, when people back out, do you back out as well? Or do you stay standing? How many people, you are so mad at everybody who said they were going to be there, but you forgot that you are no longer there for you. When was the last time you did what you said you were going to do? Right? So the mindset is, we are so busy talking about who left, talking about who broke our hearts. We're talking about who cheated. Baby, you've been cheated on you from the minute you had common sense. How do I know? You say things like, I'm a procrastinator. You stealing your time. You stealing your money. You invested in a course, you invested in a program and did not show up. You're a thief, but you got mad for that person who didn't pay you back. You got to have a mindset of, I'm going to hold me accountable more than I hold anybody else. And if you are running a team, if you're leading a team, if you see something in your team, please recognize that you attracted that team. So it's in you as well. Yes. So every time I see something in my team, I look and I sit with myself. It wasn't automatic. Holy Spirit would say, I'll get upset. And Holy Spirit would say, but did you not see that you do the same thing? So the mindset of wealth has to be with radical accountability. Radical accountability. I am tired. Nobody cares. Why is it that you never missed a job? You were never late on the job. But the minute you started with entrepreneurship, you give yourself flexibility for what? I was just on a call before we got on here, and somebody says, hey, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make a meeting. It's my birthday on that meeting. What are you celebrating? Another year of what? Another year of what? Yes, we are grateful to God. We're grateful, but what are you celebrating? What milestones? I'm not saying to be depressed. I'm talking about balance here. But if you're willing to take a whole day, why wouldn't you put that day into building, that day into strategizing? If you're going to throw a party, why not throw a party about a business launch? Throw a party about raising funds. Throw a party about those people who are about to buy you a birthday present. Let them put it into a fund and go buy a building. Go buy a multifamily unit. What are we doing? We're buying bottles, right? So the mindset, and I'm not judging you, right? Because I did all that stupid thing. And I want you to know that being of less education, my parent being of less education is not the only reason. I was in the airport in LaGuardia on our way back home. And my neighbors who lived down the road from me, I knew they were going to be in the airport. I told them, I was like, I think we're on the same flight. Long and short, their daughter is a surgeon in New York, right? The father and the mother, they were both from the financial services industry, right? And they live very well. Every time, God bless when I see them. They're always traveling. They're retired. They're always traveling. They're always traveling to a new country, always travel. I'm talking fabulous. Just travel, just enjoying the fruits of their labor. Now their daughter lives in the Hudson. So we were in New York and we were in the Hudson. I don't remember what it's called. Ty, put it in the chat. And we were in that region. And the minute they were like, oh, our daughter, she's living in the Hudson thing. And, and her rent is $7,000. And they want me to say, ooh, and ah. And I'm like, wow, does she own any building yet? Well, she makes a lot of money. She's a surgeon. I said, yeah, but does she own any building? I said, you guys, I know what you own because we talk about it. And they're like, well, she's still young, so she's still having fun. I said, well, did you tell her what percentage of her money could be fun money and still own things at the same time? And my son came to me last night and he dabbed me up. He said, Mama, you're such a boss because you held Mr. So-and-so accountable because his daughter is burning her money. Right? I'm not judging anybody, but I used to be that 20-something-year-old on Wall Street, dropping a bag on a gator shoe, going to 4040 across the road from Credit Suisse with the ballers because my mentor literally ran the books for the ballers, right? Going to the Hampton for the 4th of July to the arts, foundation that the different guys had, being on the yacht. And literally last year when I needed to take a break because my daughter and my children needed me to focus on them, my 1 year of financial freedom money was burnt through. 1 year. You're telling me all that money, I only had 1 year of sit around and do nothing money? 1 year. And you know what kept me going? My little rent that I got from my little properties, the little ugly properties that I didn't want to buy when I was 22 years old, the little ugly property that I didn't want to buy when I was 25 years old. Those little rent checks is what came in when the money went, right? And so back to the mindset is as much as I was stupid enough to burn through a lot of cash, and baby, it was a lot of fun doing it. And nothing is wrong with blowing through some things. You work hard for it. You should have a little budget for blow through money, a little budget for bless people with money, right? Those little things, a little budget for tithe money, right? I went into Milan and I dropped several bands in less than an hour. Oh, it felt good. Guess what? I don't have it in my spirit anymore because I did it. I went into Paris and I did the same thing. I don't have it in my spirit anymore because I did it, right? I did the things. But guess what? Buy something, buy a building, invest it somewhere. But you won't believe in that if you don't have value in yourself. You will Uber and DoorDash away every single last drop of it. If you don't believe that you are going to be worth something 10 years from now, you will allow anybody to touch your brand. And I'm not even just talking about money. You would take pictures with anybody, anyhow, anyway, and post it on social media. You will say just about anything on social media. If you don't know the value of your brand, if you don't know the value of what you're about to be, forget real estate. I'm talking about your brand because you can lose it every minute and build it over if you have a brand. So again, the mindset is Forget shame, right? Shame, all of us are going to go through mess, including myself. But understand that you have to have a value that is bigger than now. You have to understand that whatever you're building that's worth building is going to need a team of people. Swallow your ego, eat your ego. Somebody is rude to you, do not be rude back to them. Serve the people. Even the people you serve sometimes will be unkind. Don't take the knife out and stab them back with it. Literally serve them even the more. The bigger the problem we solve, the bigger the backstabbers we help, is the higher up we can go.
You know,
those are some amazing gems. Like, you can't, everything that you're saying is so point on, because when people see longevity in their life, they find a way to think about that. They find a way to plant the kind of seeds, like you said. But when they don't, they devalue it. And I'm kind of like you. We've all done the wild things where we spent when we shouldn't have been spending, or we just enjoyed the quality of life that we had worked for. But it's always about what that future could look like. And as I went through some of your social media, I love the books. You and I both, I can tell we align when it comes to our book reading, right? There's some of the most amazing books that you've read, I've read, Profit First, all of those things. Love them. I guess one of the questions I would ask you, what is something that you're reading now? What is a good book that you would give to the audience if it was something that you say, you know what, this could really help get you to the next level of mindset? It could be financially. What is a good one that you really enjoy passing along to people?
I must have moved it off my desk. It's Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. It's 70 pages. I gave it to an investment banker guy that sat next to me in first class when I was going to Tulum in November. And by the door, we got in before the door was closed to when we took off. He wouldn't put that. He skipped page after page because this guy, who's an investment banker, literally had never learned none of that stuff before. He owned a 401k, didn't know why he had it. He just did it because they told him to get it. He is an investment banker. He did not understand nothing about taxes. He's an investment banker. He would not put it down. He did not know. He did not understand the life insurance game. Again, a lot of people talk stuff on social media, but knowing the game and then applying the game is two different things. And this literal, 70 pages. We're talking about tonight instead of Netflix or before Netflix, because I'm not the type that tell you don't watch TV. Baby, I'll be watching the series. I ain't even going front. Okay, I be on my Peloton playing something while I'm a habit stacker. Okay, I'll be in the kitchen cooking and playing Netflix in the background. So but I listen to my books. So again, this book you can't listen to on Audible. So go ahead. It's Money, Wealth, Life Insurance, and if you want it for free, the gentlemen are going to have a link in their in the video, and you can go there and I'll give it to them or give them access to me so that you can get it for free. I have over 190 books, financial books that I can give them for free, but one at a time. Because one of the things I learned is information is useless if there's no application. So I'm not going to come on here and drop gems. That's stupid. I'm just going to tell you Money, Wealth, Life Insurance. That's it. And the Bible, Proverbs is a good book to start with.
Absolutely. You know, Ms. Taylor, this has been such a powerful interview. You've done so much to enlighten Larry, myself, our audience. So I want to give everyone in the audience opportunity to follow you on social media, become a part of your movement. And I want to ask this too in closing. Will there be an opportunity for members of our audience to meet, greet, interact with you on a personal basis? And if so, when, where, and how?
You want to know what? I was going to say here in Charlotte, because I have some stuff here in Charlotte in a couple months. I have a Charlotte the last Friday and Saturday. I'm having an event, and I'll post that on my social media soon. And then also the last Saturday in September, I'm hosting a big event, helping people eliminate debt. What if I could take whatever you're doing right now and just reallocation, just using reallocation, help you to get out of debt in 1/3 the time. I'm not talking about these debt consolidation companies. I'm not talking about ruining your credit. I'm talking about reallocation. And again, it sounds like gimmick, but it's not. And so I'll teach that live. I'll teach persons how to be able to build their bank and things of that nature. But let me ask you a question, Mr. Ric Davis and Mr. LarryWBrooks. When can I come there and do a live in-person podcast with y'all and do an event? I mean, I'm just putting y'all on the spot, okay? That's what came to me when you asked me the question, when can we do a live in-person event? I got some other connections there that would literally back us there in Houston.
Hey, I think that's an amazing idea. I love for us to put something like that together. I mean, I'm always on board with something where we can get in front of people, teach them something that's going to be tangible for their future, their family's future. So yes, we definitely need to get something on the calendar, and we are going to work for that. So I want the Prime Real Estate Network listeners out there that we're going to stand on business and we're going to get this thing structured together. And I also want to give you a shout out to Carolinas. Y'all are next up. They say it's Houston, Atlanta, and Carolinas is taking over right now. So that financial market that y'all have out there is exploding too.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're next up. We're now. But, you know, it's for those who know, because we don't want everybody. Okay, y'all can keep them. And I'm sorry, that's a little shade. Y'all, Atlanta and Houston, y'all can have everybody. We for those who know knows, we're now.
But you're right. You definitely right, because I'm trying to get Atlanta people back to Atlanta. Listen,
Exactly.
I get it.
So don't come here, guys. We're in next. Don't come here, guys. Keep going to Texas.
No, but in all seriousness, I believe an event that you're describing that me, you, and Larry are discussing is something that'll be very much appreciated and needed in the area, not only for individuals, but also business owners. So that's something that I know for a fact, especially in the next quarter and the coming months, is something that'll be very well served. So please, you always have a seat here with Larry and myself. We look forward to collaborating with you on getting an event going in Houston as soon as possible.
Yeah. And Natalie, before you go ahead and give them your platforms, your social media, your emails, however someone can reach out to you. We're going to put it inside of the chat as well, but I want you to give it to them verbally here too.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not as busy right now on Instagram, but I respond to all my messages. I'm very, very approachable, very easygoing. I don't deal with no mess, so miss me with that. But come in my social for business and encouragement, scripture, you name it. I'm real chill. Winning Natalie, meaning it's happening right now. It's always going on. Winning Natalie.
You know, it was like I said before, man. This has been an outstanding interview. It's an honor and a pleasure. Larry and I know how sometimes Thursdays can be the busiest day of the week for business owners like yourself. So we really do appreciate you carving some time out of your schedule to sit in with us. If, whenever you have an event or a message that you would like to get out to our audience, please do not hesitate. You always have a seat with Larry and myself. And I want to thank you so much, Queen, for everything that you've done as far as educating and also mentoring now and in the future. So thank you so much from the both of us.
You know what? Before we go, I want to pitch something to you guys in addition to what I pitched before. I'm an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. So what if I already have the content for the live event. You guys record it, it belongs to you. We do that in Houston. That's your content, right? I don't want nothing out of it. And then also, if you guys have a couple more segments, I'll block it and we'll literally teach them. So this was more like motivation, inspiration, but I'm talking nuggets regarding real estate, how to stack, from start to finish, whether they're in the starting process, coming out of school, or they're in the middle process, just got married, and they're looking for, what's the game, right? What's the game right now, and how to use the different things going back and forth. And then also, if they're into getting buildings, if they're, how to move that money. If they have $500,000, $1 million, $10 million, what do they want to do with it? How do they structure it? Things of that nature. So if you guys are open, I have all that content. You just block the time and we can get it done.
100%. Yes, indeed. We would definitely do that. Yeah, yes. We are on board with that, definitely.
Thank you so much, Natalie, man. Like I said before, we look forward to collaborating with you. We will be in contact soon. You'll hear from everyone as members of our organization and start getting the ball rolling on these events. And as I mentioned earlier, you can sit in with us anytime you would like. Do you have any closing messages for our audience, Ms. Taylor, as far as a word of motivation or inspiration to kind of help people get off the sideline and get involved in what we got going and not be an observer, but actually be a participant?
Ooh, that's a good question. So an object in motion stays in motion, and one that's at rest stays at rest. And I can tell you, if you took a break and you're waiting for the perfect way to come back out of the break, there's no perfect way out of the break. Accept every single opportunity to move, to just move, get going. Do it messy, do it now, do it, don't wait for the next. And the persons you're watching, they started in mess. And you're watching somebody with their perfect glossed up page, with the perfect mic. There are people who literally didn't even have good lighting, didn't have good background, didn't have good sound. So whatever it is, you're looking and you're saying, man, that person, their real estate thing is going on. Get out there, go meet people, go shake hands, go make mistake, go fumble the ball. But whatever you do, stay in the game. Do not sit in the stands, because you sit in the stand, you're paying to watch something that you could be a part of.
Wow, that's so deep. Thank you so much, Ms. Natalie Taylor. I want to have everyone in the audience follow her on social media, reach out, become a part of her tribe, become a part of the movement. Thank you so much, Queen. We look forward to speaking with you again in the very near future. And we cannot wait to have you here in our lovely city of Houston.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Mr. Brooks. Hey, man, it seemed like we got homework, brother, man. That was an outstanding interview, man. It was, unmute yourself, Mr. Brooks, please.
Listen, we're executors over here. So I need, for when we get off of this call, I need you to give her email address and her contact number to Shay, and have Shay get that thing set up. And it could either be, it may be even powerful if we can put it on the, bring her in to do that course that she's talking about, along with the Prime Real Estate Network and the Brooks and Davis TV. I want it on both. So when you get done, I'm saying this now, just go ahead on, have Miss Shay reach out to her right now, introduce herself, and to start to get her on that calendar. We executing this immediately.
Absolutely, man. Look, great interview. Big huge shout out to you. Big huge shout out to Miss Andy Tebow, and of course, big huge shout out to Miss Natalie Taylor, dropping gems all over the floor that we were picking up and putting in our pouch.
100%.
Everybody in the audience, the gentleman in red is the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. My name is Mr. Prime Real Estate Ric Davis. Until next Thursday here in this hour, everybody in the audience, please be safe and be blessed.
Be blessed.